What was your most unforgettable run-away from home attempt? When I was 9, I decided to run away from home. I'd just been grounded for a whole month after I knocked over and shattered my mom's favorite vase while playing soccer inside the house. It was one of those irreplaceable things she'd had since before I was born. I didn't mean to do it. I was trying to save the ball from hitting the cat. The cat was fine. The vase was not. After the yelling and the tears, the punishment came. Grounded. No TV, no video games, no bike. My entire summer, gone. In my 9-year-old brain, this was injustice of the highest order. So I waited until after bedtime, grabbed my backpack, packed 3 cookies, a flashlight, and my stuffed dinosaur Rex, and climbed out my window. My plan was simple. Leave, live on my own, return triumphantly one day when my parents missed me enough to apologize. I made it to the end of our street before realizing I hadn't actually planned anything past that. No food beyond the cookies, no real destination. I wasn't even wearing socks. That's when I saw Mrs. Peterson's garden shed. She lived 3 houses down, was always baking pies and waving to kids, and never locked her shed because there's nothing in there worth stealing. I checked the door. It opened with a soft creak. Inside were some tools, a bag of potting soil, an old lawn chair with a cushion, and a stack of faded magazines. Perfect. For 3 days, that shed was my kingdom. During the day, I stayed quiet, reading old gardening magazines and eating the cookies I'd brought. When I got hungry, I'd wait for Mrs. Peterson to go inside, then tiptoe onto her back patio and grab whatever food she'd left unattended. She had a habit of setting out lunch, half sandwiches, fruit, sometimes cookies, for her grandkids when they visited. They didn't come that weekend, so I took it as a sign. At night, I'd sneak back down the street and peek through my bedroom window. Once I saw my mom pacing while holding the house phone to her ear, her other hand pressed against her forehead. My dad sat at the kitchen table with his head in his hands. The lights stayed on all night. I felt weirdly proud, like I'd made them see how serious I was. I imagined them regretting everything and planning a huge welcome party when I came home. Then came day 4. I woke up in the shed to the sound of helicopters and dogs barking. Sirens echoed from down the block. I peeked out and saw police cars lining the street, neighbors forming search groups, people calling my name. I ducked back inside, heart racing, and pressed my ear to the door. That's when I heard my dad's voice. "We found his notebook," he was telling an officer. His voice cracked. He wrote he was going to the old quarry to swim. The quarry. 3 kids had drowned there the summer before. Everyone knew it was off limits. Dangerous currents, sharp rocks, steep cliffs, but I had mentioned it in my notebook. Some dramatic line about disappearing into the blue and never being found again. Then I saw my mom collapse into my dad's arms on the sidewalk, sobbing. Not movie sobbing, real guttural, body-shaking cries. Her knees buckled. Someone had to help her up. I'd never seen her like that. That was the moment. It hit me all at once that this wasn't a game anymore. I wasn't teaching anyone a lesson. I was the one who'd failed to understand what I'd really done. I pushed open the shed door, stepped out into the sun, and started walking. I walked past the police cars, past my neighbors, straight up to my parents. My mom saw me first. Her eyes went wide and she sprinted at me. No yelling, no questions, just arms around me so tight I couldn't breathe. An officer radioed something. People clapped. One of the neighbors cried. Later, I found out my dad had already been shown the body of another kid found near the quarry. Same height, same hair. He said he was seconds from saying it was me before he saw the shoes were wrong. They never told me what happened to that boy. I never ran away again.